Okay, go ahead, we'll call our meeting to order. 7:32. The first item on the agenda is public hearing, Capasso Landscaping, 131 Bradley Road.
No, he's not here, but I guess I'll.
This is an application for a change of use of a portion of the first floor to storage of landscaping equipment.
My name's Warren Luciani. I'm the landlord at the building. We just purchased the building about 2 months ago. It's 131 Bradley Road. It was, anybody that knows it, it was kind of in disrepair. And Capasso Landscaping currently rents from us at 125 Bradley Road, which is the adjoining building. He rents outside storage from us, and he wants to move his landscaping business inside. So that's basically what this is, and that's basically it. There's not really much to it. And if anybody has any questions, I'll try and answer them.
It's being changed from what is it current?
It was abandoned, but Aquatech Labs used to be there, the water testing company.
I know exactly where it is.
Right,
Okay.
right. And we renovated the whole building, and
I know exactly.
we're gonna, the dog place that came before you was taking one side, right, and the other side is going to be Capasso.
And that's just landscaping equipment.
Yeah, he's got landscaping, and there's going to be a garage door in the back so we can put trucks inside, so they're not outside in the weather.
Is she going on the ground floor?
Ground
Same
floor,
as him,
right.
she's not going on the first floor.
No, she's going on the ground. The building is
Yeah, it's
set into
stepped
a
down,
bank, so
right.
the ground floor is actually the basement.
Oh,
And it walks, and then the top walks out and has a handicap ramp that comes down. It's like a halfway up the top floor.
and she's not taking any of that.
She's not taking any of that. That's most likely going to be the dress manufacturer that's in 125 wants to expand,
Cool.
which is the same use as what was there prior.
All right. Any other questions? Sorry, we can't ask you any tough ones.
Sorry I couldn't be any tougher.
Yeah, right.
You all have a great holiday.
You too. Okay, the next item on the agenda is,
Are you going to close the hearing?
I'm closing the hearing. Is there anybody here who wants to speak in favor or opposed to the application, or the applicant who's not here? Kinda.
He'll probably walk in late on Tommy.
Then we'll tell them. You can't imagine what people said about you. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is Public Act 17-155, an act concerning temporary healthcare services, which was in your packet.
I didn't understand. What was it? Why are we seeing, this is a Connecticut Senate bill, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more than a bill. I believe it is now
It's a public act.
public act.
Oh, it is a public act, so it's been
As
passed.
of October 1st, I believe it was public act.
But we have to set up a public hearing. And we don't have to go along, but we can opt out of it. Other towns have opted out of it. Hamden and Bethany, actually. I don't know who else. So we have to set this up for a public hearing. Do we have a deadline on this?
When you're establishing the hearing and you're doing the application,
I don't think so, yeah.
no.
Okay. So why don't we can do this at our January meeting or our February meeting?
Does there have to be a public hearing even if there's no intention to request an opt-out?
Well, it says here, you may opt out of the provisions of this section and the provisions of the
Provided you have a public hearing.
provided you have a public hearing.
Right. If it's not this commission's intention to request
Provided
an
the zoning
opt-out,
commission or combined planning and zoning commission of the municipality first holds a public meeting in accordance with the provisions. And then it goes to the board of selectmen. But it still tells us we have to, unless I'm missing understanding of it.
I'm just reading it as saying that you have to first hold a public hearing in the event that you want to opt out of the provisions of this subsection. I'm not suggesting that that's the course that should be taken, but only pointing out that unless it is decided by this commission to seek an opt-out.
We will opt out.
Okay, then you need a public hearing.
I mean, other towns opted out for different reasons. Actually, they both opted out for, they both opted out for the easiest reason, which was because of the 15-day thing. But, so I think that our due diligence, we should hold the public hearing.
Okay.
I don't think it'll take very long. I think there's gonna be a lot of people showing up, kind of thing. So, we want to set that up for January.
Do we need a vote on this?
No, you can by consensus
Oh,
schedule it.
fine, okay.
So what's, is everybody around January 2nd? That's when I...
Yeah. That's the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so let's assume that we'll wait for Mr. Skolnick here, but... All right.
Now, you just have to note for the record that I failed to put on your agenda what was in your packet, that application for 35 Lucy Street, so you're receiving that this evening, and then you're going to discuss this at the next meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a Scroggie?
Scrog meeting spent a lot of time talking about this act concerning temporary health structure.
So you're the expert.
I am the expert in this room right now. I'm probably the expert. Yes.
So what did
Good.
they,
So you're going to be here January 2nd?
I can't assure you. It seemed to me as though it would have very limited impact in Woodbridge, insofar as it requires such things as a hookup to septic systems and things like that. I can't imagine anybody wanting to erect a temporary structure and go to the expense of tying into their septic tank and leaching fields, and perhaps even having to modify and expand the same in order to do that.
Yeah, actually, would we even, are you even allowed in Woodbridge to hook up two structures to a septic system?
Well, that question is probably before the public health code, but I think it's very difficult. You have to, I understand that it's based on bedroom count, and that most people do not have excess capacity in their existing septic system.
I mean, we did work in Greenwich, and if you have two buildings, you have two septic systems. I mean, that's them, but...
the only, the times when two buildings have been hooked up to two septic systems, it's required a state of health, an exception to be filed with the state health department to do so.
Yeah, because somebody was telling me in Westport that you actually could get permission from the state, and they might say yes. So,
There are people who have received that
yeah,
exception from the state. I think it's very limited.
but it must still go by bedroom.
I think it all boils down to gallons of sewerage. At the end of the day, it must. But it seems to have bedrooms are indicated.
Interesting. All right, cool. Actually, do we want to go back and make a decision on Capasso Landscaping since he's here? You can't believe what they said about you.
Yeah, nothing good.
It wasn't good.
Just note for the record that for this particular application, Jeff is seated in place of Larry, since Larry wasn't here during the course of the hearing.
Okay.
He missed quite a hearing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lengthy one, too.
Yeah. Well, we started at 6:30.
Good. Keep doing that.
Okay, so is there any discussion on this application?
I move to approve.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. He did a good job representing you.
I'll send him the bill.
Let me know how that goes.
It never goes good.
Okay, so the other item on here is
Isn't there also, there was a notice about,
from the town.
yeah. Oh, this is the state.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not on my list.
Yeah, I know, that's why I was asking about the communication facility.
Well, we don't actually get to see.
I don't know why it was even sent. Do we have anything to do on this notice on the AT&T?
They copy you all the time on anything that they do.
But we don't have,
You don't
Where
have
is this,
anything.
by the way.
Woodfield?
What are they talking about? Because it doesn't give you the location.
Tower presently located
Oh,
at the.
okay, 50 Woodfield Road.
Right.
Great. Okay, yeah.
With a constant upgrade of towers to accommodate wireless technology.
So does the modification ever include making it taller?
It does not.
Okay.
It's just a technology upgrade.
There you go.
Fine.
Okay. So the other item on here, which I had put on here, is update of a zoning regulation, modification and clarification to section 3.1.2.1 of item number 12 of our regulations. This is a change that we did last meeting as far as allowing residential in the GB zone. Upon further thinking about this and talking to Leslie as far as what we're trying to do, there seems to be some hesitation. I wish we had actually been given more information prior to making our decision, but we didn't. Our main purpose in trying to create mixed use is we really want to create a downtown community area, sidewalks, etc., but we really kind of want to do that on Lucy Street and that area more than the GB zone. But we do what we did. So what we're proposing, Leslie's pulled together this motion, which is in your packet as well. I bet it was. It's up to you. I'm going to give you a copy of it. I hope it's here, though.
No, it wasn't. I didn't see.
Anyway, so the idea is to tighten it up a little bit. We're suggesting, again, with Leslie helping write this thing, that we have it, and actually I have a revised map correction for everybody that is a little more. No, don't take that one.
Oh, no, not this
No,
one?
I know, the one you have in there is not really good, because
Oh.
it's not labeled,
Oh,
so I want us to.
okay, but it is the same. basically.
Yeah, it is the same.
It's the same, but it's just not,
labeled.
it's not labeled DBA. I got you.
Exactly. So a couple things. The idea is that the only area where multiple families are allowed on this motion is within the red-lined area. And also, I would like to suggest two easy changes to the motion. Maybe not. Oh, I have it written down. Here we go. So,
Oh, you're making, okay.
pardon? So just some changes. So in the, where it says multiple family dwellings, then accessory to a legal non-residential use shall be permitted special exception in the GB district. And instead of subject, have it say only in the locations depicted on the map GBA.
Fine, that's
Yes. So,
just like wordsmithing.
So the main thing, what we're really doing tonight is setting up a public hearing. So really what I'm looking for is a motion to set up a public hearing.
So moved.
Do a record.
Second.
And when would this public hearing be?
We have to have Chris send out, when are you away? I sensed.
You don't want me there?
I said, no, not, I don't want you to be away at all. Actually, I suddenly thought maybe you were going away. But I think the idea, we have 30 days, so we have to send it to SCROG. So ideally, we'd like to do it, I'd like to set it up for like January 8th.
And what was the reasoning behind the requested changes?
Well, it's not really exactly going along with our POCD. Our POCD is really trying to push this more for along Lucy Street, and really in here, although we want mixed use, some residential, we really want this to be a little less mixed use. We would like more mixed use in the other area, so that's why we're just trying to limit this area. And we were also trying to get it so that it works with what's across the street. Before we had it going up, we picked the point where it goes from 2 lanes to 3 lanes as the point of stopping in the zone. So that's where why the line stops there. And we were also, her feeling was that the 1,250 square feet was a very large residential unit that we probably wouldn't want to encourage in that area. So,
And
but
we can-
again, this is really more a discussion of, this is really just to set up a public hearing. So, and then we can talk about it all you want.
Okay.
A lot, actually.
Yeah.
As long as you're there.
As long as it's not the last week in January, I'll be here.
Okay. So the idea,
What date are you saying now?
well, Chris will send out a notice.
Your regular meeting would be
January 2nd. But we don't have, that's less than 30 days. It's because it has to go to SCROG.
If I send it out tomorrow, Andrew, your meeting is next week? Yeah?
It's on Thursday,
Yeah, I think it's next week.
I'll tell you.
So if I get it out tomorrow, they should have it, and I've already sent a request to them asking to, do a placeholder to have it on. So you hopefully will have comments back by the 2nd.
It's the 14th.
The worst thing that's going to happen is if you don't have comments, you would just continue the hearing. But if you have them, then you could act out on it at your regular meeting.
So
Your choice.
I'm not necessarily interested in continuing it so much, so I think we should, when will we know? Because I just soon set it up for the 8th, and as well, we'll set up for the 8th, and if we get our comments back and we can do it on the 2nd, then we'll cancel the 8th.
Except that when I send them the notice, I have to tell them when the hearing's going to be.
You have to tell who?
I have to tell COG.
Well, but even if we tell them January 2nd, they don't necessarily have to get it done by January 2nd.
Right.
So that puts us in not a good spot.
Whatever you want to do. On the 8th, we can't use this room because Zoning Board of Appeals has it.
Well, we can just go to another room, but
Trying to keep you in the loop.
I understand. I know, I think ZBA is in here,
Mhm.
something.
8th is fine for me.
I don't understand, if they're going to be meeting next Thursday and we tell them we'd like it by the 2nd, but we can't guarantee.
If it's on their meeting for next Thursday, typically they act on it that night, and then we get a response back in a week.
Meeting is the 14th.
So,
Which is next week.
yeah, so there would be a good likelihood that you would have comments, but, I can't guarantee, because if there's a blizzard on the 14th, they're not going to meet.
Okay, let's do that, because actually, even if we can actually do it without their comments, but we run the chance of them appealing it. So. All right.
Wasn't sure about that, but okay.
Yeah, it's true. But, so we can do it the second.
So it's on the second now. Okay. Next.
All right, that's it. The only thing is if, okay, that's it. That should take care of it. We got our public hearing. Did you get one of these, Chris?
No, I didn't. Do you have it electronically? Because then I can just email it to them.
Well, I can, I'll send it to you, but I actually wrote on these. So, but I can send it to you electronically.
Okay,
I'll scan it tomorrow.
sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right. And you have the wording change? You want this too, or you want me to send you that tomorrow?
Why don't you send that to me, just so I can make sure that it's worded the way you want it worded?
Okay, cool.
Will Leslie be present? at that hearing?
Yes. If you'd like it to be. I got that impression. Dates. All right. Let's see, we have to review our draft meeting schedule for next year.
April 2nd is fine.
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
any problem with
It's
that.
not a problem.
Fourth day of Passover.
Just have matzah first, that's all.
I'm just trying to be.
Does that work for
really
you?
careful.
I'm going out of town, but it's not.
Oh, so
Yeah,
he's
Passover.
really concerned about Passover.
No, Passover has nothing to do with this. On the 4th, on the,
Passover
On
starts on
April
the
2nd.
30th.
yeah, so
This is
April
not
2nd is fine.
Correction, I'm in town.
It's fine.
That's good. All right, any other problems with these other dates that anybody can think of?
No.
All right, so do we have to make a motion for this?
Yes, please.
Is there a
So
motion to-
moved. Or seconded.
Move second.
All right. We have approval of minutes. I would like to hold off on the October 2nd because I'd like to review these. So if we can hold off till next month. And,
The
but
November,
we can do November 6th, which was in our
5th.
packet.
well, it says here 5th.
Did I make a mistake?
Well, on here it says the
It's
6th, but on the minutes it says the
The
5th.
fifth.
Oh, well,
Okay, and in addition to which, under the
wait a
public
minute, let me
hearing,
find my set.
It's November 6th.
I can fix them. Okay, go ahead.
and under the public hearing part, you have later in the meeting after discussion, the commission acted, and then you repeat the exact same thing later on.
So I'll delete one.
So delete the first one and leave the second one in the work session. We'll move it over there. Yeah,
Go.
that's it.
Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
Move to approve as corrected.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstain. Wasn't here.
I know.
That's my favorite one.
No, your favorite one comes up next.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
There you go.